Okay, I think we should get started. It's about 4:05. My name is Mark. I work in Residence Life at Wayne State University, and I'm here with Nikki Dunham, the Director of Residence Life, as well as Dr. Kelly Thacker, who is the Director of Housing Operations. And we are just going to go quickly through a presentation with some last-minute move-in reminders and some information on what to pack. I will remind you one more time that the Q&A is open for you to ask any questions you might have throughout the presentation, and we will either get to it during or after we go through this. So take it away, Nikki.
Great, thanks Mark. Thanks everybody for joining us today. As Mark mentioned, my name is Nikki Dunham and I'm the Director of Residence Life here for Housing and Residential Life at Wayne State University. So as he mentioned, we are going to go through some of what to bring and what not to bring and some more specific things about different buildings on campus and what you can and cannot bring into those spaces. But you can see on the screen right now a list of things that we want to make sure you don't forget at home. So some of these things might already be kind of tucked away, ready for you to bring to campus with you in a couple of weeks, but wanted to make sure that you sort of had a list of things that we encourage you not to forget. So the first thing, of course, due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic is don't forget your face covering or mask. We are requiring those in all of our public spaces on campus. So that includes any hallways, the lobby area, any community rooms, etc., that are in your building. So don't forget to bring those. If you do happen to forget them or don't have one, we will provide you a packet that has 3 of our Wayne State specific masks when you come to campus. So you'll be all warriored up in your gear when you come to campus with us. All of our beds on campus are twin XL, which is pretty standard. If you live in Anthony Wayne Drive, however, just wanted to let you know that those beds there are full size. So you'll want to make sure to bring full size sheets for the beds in those apartments. Don't forget your bathroom linens, of course, so towels, washcloths, etc. We do prefer that you use 3M strips on any of the walls that are on campus. Those have the sort of pull down, easy release so that you can just pop a hook or a picture or whatever you choose to hang on your wall right off of there, and it doesn't do a lot of damage. We do just ask that if you remove them or choose to move whatever you hung from them to a different place, that you're really careful when you take those off of the walls to not strip the paint or cause any damage. Usually they don't, but I just like to remind people of that. Of course, bring any photos that you have from home, any decorations that you want to use to decorate your space. It's important to us that you really make this your home away from home. So please bring anything that you can decorate with that will make you feel more comfortable. Don't forget lamps. You know, that may be something to put close to your bed so that if you read at night, you're not disturbing your roommate, or just to generally light the room. Don't forget all of your laundry supplies, and that includes a hamper or a laundry basket to keep in your space to keep all of your dirty laundry together. Oftentimes students say that they forgot to bring an umbrella, so I put that on the list today. Don't forget to add that to one of your boxes. It does rain sometimes here, especially in the fall, so don't forget that. We do recommend that you also bring a small toolkit, so that might, you know, have some screwdrivers that you might need to, you know, fix something, whether that's in your room or something else that you own might need to be fixed. Any furniture that you bring in on your own, you would be responsible for fixing. Now, if it's a Wayne State owned piece of furniture or something else in your room that's broken, we do have resources to have a facility staff member come in and fix that for you. But we just recommend this in case you need to fix anything that you're assembling yourself, essentially. Sometimes a small sewing kit is something that students appreciate having with them on campus. If something gets torn and you just want to fix it up real quick, sewing kits can be used for a lot of different things, so it doesn't hurt to have that extra resource. I mentioned lamps. That reading lamp before, so not disturb your roommate, is a really good idea. A lot of students will bring something that clips on the back of their headboard of the bed, or a lamp that will sit right on their desk. Any extra electronics cords that you might need to charge up your devices, being that almost everything is virtual right now, we don't want you to forget to charge up. You are allowed to have a small fridge with a freezer, but it must be under 5 cubic feet. So make sure that if you're still planning on going out and buying one of those, that it is smaller than 5 cubic feet. Don't forget all of your important toiletries. That might include medications and things like that. Those can be, tough things to try to get back if you live far away. So don't forget to put that on your list as well. Clothing, of course. We don't recommend that you bring, your entire closet with you, but certainly some seasonal appropriate things. Even though we are open through the winter break for housing, maybe you only need to bring, one winter coat right away when you move in a couple of weeks. So do just kind of think about when you might be going back home and what you might be able to swap out at that time. Any games that you would like to play, whether that's video games or a card game that you might like to play with your roommate, feel free to bring those. Headphones, that's also something that might be more beneficial to your roommate than to you, but you want to make sure to have a good relationship with that person, and you'll probably be making some decisions with them about the type of noise that will be allowed in your room, and at what times you listen to music together, what times you use headphones, etc. Probably being, if your classes are virtual, it might be really good to have headphones as well, as to not have your roommate have to listen in on all of your classes and things. Don't forget cleaning supplies too. That's really important. So all of our bathrooms on campus are private to the suite or apartment, and you are responsible for cleaning that space. So don't forget about that. All of your private spaces, while you're responsible for cleaning. So you'll want to remember to, bring some spray and a cloth to wipe things down, anything like that. All of the shared spaces on campus are cleaned by our professional housekeeping staff. So you don't need to worry about cleaning those spaces, of course, but any shared spaces that you have with other people in your suite or your apartment, those are your responsibility as well. All right, so that is, of course, a non-exhaustive list of what to bring. Certainly, there are probably some things that are very particular to you that are on your list, and would encourage you to keep that list together, of course, but there are some things that you may not bring to campus, and I want to make sure that you know about those as well. Any pets that you have are not allowed on campus. So if you do have what's considered an emotional support animal or a service animal, you'll want to talk to Student Disability Services about getting that process started in order to bring your animal to campus, but other pets we don't allow. So any lamps that are lighted by a halogen bulb, we also don't allow those on campus, so keep that in mind. Also, our Computing and Information Technology office does not allow internet routers on campus. We have a lot of different resources in place on campus to really keep our internet speed up there and really effective for you. So you won't need to bring an internet router to campus, and in fact, they're not allowed, so please don't bring those. Anything with an exposed heating element is also not allowed on campus, so I want to make sure to let you know about that. That includes a lot of different cooking supplies. There are special exceptions made for the apartments, which we'll get to in just a minute, but please don't bring anything else with an exposed heating element. And I just want to remind you, I just remembered this, you can look up all of this information on our Community Living Guide, which is posted on our website, housing.wayne.edu. So the Community Living Guide, in specifically Article 19, I believe it is where it explains all of our prohibited items on campus. So you'll want to take a closer look at that before you do come to campus. So lofts are another thing not to bring with you to campus. Those are anything that might bring your bed up from sitting right on the ground. Risers are fine, but we don't allow lofts in a situation where like you might try to put your desk or something like that underneath your bed. Don't bring those to campus. Also, don't bring a space heater or a room air conditioner. We do have fully functioning HVAC systems on campus, and we do have professional staff members who are around to fix those should they ever become not functional. So please don't bring those. Any plant that you bring should be under 3 feet. Please don't bring fireworks or explosives to campus. Leave all of your drug-related paraphernalia or illegal drugs at home. I do want to make just a quick note about marijuana use. Because we receive federal funding as Wayne State University, marijuana remains not allowed on our campus, so please don't bring that on campus with you either. And also all weapons should stay at home. All right, so a few notes about cooking, specifically in Towers Residential Suites and in Atchison Hall. You are not allowed to cook in your room. However, there are kitchenettes spread around both of those buildings, usually on every other floor, excuse me. You can see the floor numbers there that have kitchenettes on them. There are other community spaces on the floors that aren't listed here, but they're just not kitchens. So you're welcome to use those kitchens to cook. You must, however, supply all of your own utensils, pots, pans, etc. Some of the cooking items that you might use, like a crock pot, would be allowed in that area, but it may not be in your room. So please keep that in mind when you do come to campus. We also really encourage all of our residents who utilize the kitchenette spaces to make sure that you leave the space better than you found it. So I did mention that our cleaning staff does take care of a lot of those shared spaces, but it's really important to me and to our communities on campus that you leave the space a little bit nicer than the way that you found it. So make sure that you're cleaning up after yourself if you've made any type of mess, because we just want to make sure that we're not overtaxing our cleaning staff. All right, so these are the specific items that I wanted to mention about Anthony Wayne Drive and University Tower apartments. Because these are both apartment buildings, they do have kitchens in the apartment unit. So it's okay for you to have things with that exposed heating element that I talked about before that is specifically related to cooking. So things like rice cookers, toasters, crock pots, and other kitchen appliances are able to be used in our apartment buildings only. I really want to drive that home. Those are not allowed in Towers Residential Suites or Atchison, but you may have those in either of the apartment buildings. We also allow candles in the apartment buildings only. However, those candles need to be in glass containers, and the candle shouldn't come up over the glass container, so the flame needs to sort of be under the top of the glass candle. And when you're using any of these items, it's really important that you are responsible about use of those things, that, you know, maybe you set a reminder on your phone to make sure that you're unplugging things or are turning things off. Never leave candles burning if you're leaving the apartment, etc. So just remember to be responsible when it comes to that. All right, so that's a little bit about what to and what not to bring when you come to campus in a couple of weeks. Just wanted to provide a few don't forget reminders when you are working on packing. So the first thing first is don't forget to sign up for your COVID-19 test. As I mentioned at the webinar last week, this is the first step in our move-in process, and it's really important that you log in to Calendly and don't forget to sign up for that time. That will really kick off your whole move-in process for coming to campus. Oh, if you could go back a slide. Thank you. Also, don't forget your one card. You'll need that at many different points throughout the process. So you'll need it to check into that COVID-19 test appointment, but then you'll also need it to check into your actual building. So please don't forget to bring your one card with you to campus. It's sort of your key to everything that happens. Don't forget any important medications. As I mentioned before, that's super important. Any chargers and cords that you need, again, because we're using so many electronics these days, don't want you to forget those things at home. And also, if you do go into our community living guide online, you'll see that there is a personal safety plan in that document, and that includes a COVID-19 isolation plan. So what that means is essentially it's like a checklist of things that you would just need to make sure that you know about or understand if you were ever to have a personal emergency arise. One of those things might be that you fall ill or that you have a positive test result from COVID-19 testing that might be happening through the fall semester. So we want to make sure that you're prepared for the isolation process. So take a look at our community living guide and think about what you might need to take with you if you would need to move into an isolation space for anywhere from 10 to 14 days. All right, so a few move-in reminders. I already mentioned this before, but again, sign up for a test time. We're doing testing at both the Campus Health Center, which is right at the ground level of Anthony Wayne Drive Apartments, very close to all of our buildings. And then we're also doing testing at the Detroit Health Department. So that's on the corner of, I believe, Cass and Mack. So just consider that when you're signing up for your time. Don't forget to register your move-in helper. I mentioned this at the webinar last week as well. You will be allowed one person to assist you with your move-in process. As a reminder, that person does not need to go through the COVID-19 test as well. That's just for our residential students, but they do need to be registered to come into the building and to help you move in. Again, don't forget to bring your one card with you. That's really important through the whole process. Also, a reminder to complete all of your check-in pass modules. You should have gotten a reminder email about that late last week. And always continue to check your email for important reminders. We know that we're sending a lot of different emails right now, and it can be really easy to get lost in all of that. So certainly if you have any specific questions, we encourage you to go back and read through your email first, but also feel free to contact us if you have any questions about anything that's happening with move-in. And with that, that's all I have. We can't wait to see you. I will answer some questions along with Kelly.
Okay, so the only question we have right now, and just a reminder to all attendees, feel free to put any questions in the Q&A, but the question is, are we allowed to bring a microwave?
Sorry, Mark, you cut out there for just a minute for me.
Oh, sorry. The question is, are you allowed to bring a microwave to your dorm?
Yes.
Okay. And I don't think there are any more.
I see a couple of questions in my Q&A box.
Okay.
The first one looks like, will we be able to park in the parking structures while we are getting our COVID test done? And the answer to that is yes. We are currently confirming one of two parking structures for you to park in while the test is being done at the Campus Health Center specifically. Parking at the Detroit Health Department will be in their parking lot there. And then you'll be able to go ahead and come over to campus if your test is negative.
And then I see a question about registering move-in helpers, and the link to register your move-in helper is available on our website. As Nikki said, we've been sending you lots of emails. That was included in an email, but we also know that it may be easier for you to access online. So if you go to housing.wayne.edu, there's a section about moving information, and we have a section on move in and move out. And so in the move in area, there is a checklist of all the things that you need to complete before you come to campus. And one of those is the registration link for your move in helper.
Okay. Are there any final questions?
Any other tips for what to bring, Mark, that you can think of that you've seen students bring in with them that they've enjoyed having on campus?
There's a question here. The only thing I could think of is if you are bringing any sort of extension cord, make sure it's 3-prong. Those flimsy 2-prong, usually they're brown. Those are a fire hazard. And so consider that. And surge protectors, make sure make sure that you bring surge protectors if you're trying to expand the amount of outlets that you need. Not just the ones that you can plug into the outlet that has additional ones. Those aren't surge protectors, so be careful with that. Are essential oil diffusers allowed in towers?
Yes, we do allow essential oil diffusers. Those don't have an open heating element or anything like that. It's really just diffusing water, so to say, with some oils. I would just talk to your roommate about that. Sometimes folks have a little bit of a sensitivity to the smell of oils, so make sure that you talk to your roommate or suite mates about bringing that diffuser with you.
I would also consider, I would ask you to consider talking to your roommates too about like microwaves and fridges, and particularly the bigger things that you would bring. A lot of rooms don't need too many fridges and 2 microwaves. So hopefully
it's good to connect with your roommate about a lot of things. I think about, like TVs and PlayStations and things like that. And you don't really need more than maybe 1 or 2 of those at the end of the day.
Right. Okay, well, it doesn't look like there are any more questions, but just a general reminder, at all times, you're welcome to contact us. You can go to our website, housing.wayne.edu. On the bottom, there's some contact information. You can always email us at housing@wayne.edu, and you can call us as well and leave a voicemail, and we'll get back to you really soon. Is there anything else, panelists?
You can also live chat us. So there's lots of ways to get a hold of us. So we have staff who are live chatting throughout the business hours, so 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. So please, if you have a question, reach out to us and we will get back with you. Typically within one business day, the volume is increasing, but we will certainly work to get back with you as soon as we can.
Yep. And that live chat's right on our website. You won't miss it. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we are excited to see you soon.